Hey, it's Jang here from JangBricks.com with a look at Metalbeard's Duel, a Lego movie set that comes with 412 pieces. So there he is, ye old pirate Metalbeard, who, according to the story, lost his parts in previous battles, and now he's made himself up with parts of a pirate ship and even stuff from the sea, and wow, this is really interesting. This really caught my eye to begin with as something that was very different, but then when I noticed he had a peg leg, that just did it for me. That totally did it for me, because this thing is, it's kind of a mech with a little bit of steampunk, pirate punk, and a little bit of Warhammer 40K too, with just his head in there, kind of his spirit actually controlling this entire mech. So that's all that's left of his physical form. He's got his little treasure chest here with a lock piece on it. That is a printed piece. Two of them are included in the set. One is a spare. And he's got some of his body parts in here, very gory. You can see his face right there. He does not have a second face on the back of there, so that's just it. And this is a new piece, I believe, a very interesting piece that his head is just set in right there. Literally a metal beard, so that's interesting. It's a mech, so it has arms. One of the arms is a shark arm. Has very nice, pretty standard build kind of hands, but they look good, and good choice of the metallic fingertips. He has all sorts of artifacts all over his body. So here you've got a telescope, and then it's his shark arm, so he actually has a shark on that arm. The other arm is a cannon arm, so he's got twin cannons from a pirate ship. You can see he's got a wind-up knob right here. The wheel, the ship's wheel, has these cylinders on it, and you can take those off and use those as ammunition, because these are those actual shooting cannons. You load that up, make sure it goes down in there. There we go. And then you pull this back, and then when you let go, it's going to shoot out. Wow. Yeah, with a lot of power. So you've got double barrels there. You can just keep on firing until you run out of cylinders, and then go pick those up. Or if you've got extras, then great, you can just keep on shooting. On the legs, you've got, these are supposed to be pieces of the front of a boat, and he's got a barrel that's kind of integrated in there, a wheel, it's part of a hatch or something. Back here he's got an anchor that swings back and forth just a little bit. And then on the other leg, he's got more artifacts. So he's got a little flintlock pistol right there. Not sure what that's supposed to be, maybe part of a sextant. And then this is a pair of binoculars, bronze or golden binoculars also. And then looking at the articulation of this thing, it has ball joints in the arms, so you can really get a lot of motion there. These kind of shoulder assemblies here are able to flip up, so that gives them even more range of motion. Allows it to have that texture in there that covers up the area when his arms are down, but if you want his arms to go up, he can lift them up. He can bring his hand in pretty close, and you actually kind of scratch his beard like that, right? The fingers you already saw. And then over on this side, the cannon arm has a similar setup with double ball joints. Also can rotate right here, so you can actually get a little bit more, oops, accidentally popped that off. A little bit more articulation out of this side. You can actually kind of shoot backwards if you want to. So this guy potentially has a lot of combat power, and the ability to shoot in all sorts of directions. Plus he has one more thing for fighting that I'll show you in a second. But down here on the legs for articulation, these are ratcheted joints in there close, and on the other side, unfortunately, you do have a ball joint in the foot. Now that is important to allow him to put his foot down, but he's not able to really hold himself up straight. He has to really lean over. So if you're trying to get a pose of him moving forward, he has to be leaning over a lot onto that foot, otherwise it'll just kind of collapse down like that. But you do also have the ratcheted joint here, and it does allow you to get a little bit of a kind of a lurching motion there, and he has the ability to rotate at the waist. So he's got that good waist spinning. That can go 360 degrees actually, as long as it's lined up well with the other add-on stuff. Now, I mentioned that he has one more thing to fight with. On his back here, He has a massive sword, which is just clipped on as if it's on a hilt on his back. And presumably he's supposed to be able to reach back and grab this. It's a little bit tough to actually move the hand around that much, but take this off, he's able to hold on to this with his articulated fingers. It's not a great grip, but it's good enough that you can easily get some poses, some static poses. And there's his additional weapon. This is a piece that was first introduced to the Hero Factory line, so they're just reusing something from a different theme. Always a good thing to have the crossovers like that. And then a little bit more detail just up here on the top. He has a smokestack, so that's where you start to see even more of a little bit of a steampunk kind of feel to it, with the chimney stack right there. Presumably that would be from the galley on the ship that he salvaged to get all this stuff from. But then he also has his parrot, who's still with him after all this time, and that's on part of a ship's mast. It has a couple of flags that are on there, one right side up, one upside down. Very nicely done. Mech for a mech. This is the bad guy for this set, the Micromanager. There are lots of these in the first Lego movie universe. This was an interesting build. It's definitely something you have to pay attention to while you're doing it. A lot of asymmetry in there compared to, some parts are symmetrical, some parts are very asymmetrical. So it definitely requires some time. Nicely done legs here, because you can rotate these in and out. That's very useful for making this extra stable. It really wants to stay right here because it has limiters, movement limiters on the legs. So here and here, this keeps it from going forward any farther. This keeps the ankle from moving forward any farther. You can also move the toes in and out, and you can get a walking pose off of this thing thanks to all those different options. So even just doing that, you see I didn't even move the other leg. It's very well balanced. It has a nice kind of square base to it, and all the weight is very centralized. So as far as posing is concerned, I think that they've got something really good going here, and I hope that they'll do more stuff like that, use more of the learnings from this and more of the Star Wars and other more interesting sci-fi mechs. You've got the claws here, which can be articulated all over the place. They've got several joints in them, so you can do all kinds of stuff. Go all the way down, reach up, turn around, kind of scratch the nose right there, right? And those are very useful. It has flick fire missiles on the sides, and those are supposed to be able to flip out, but they're tough to get out because there's friction in there in the joints. They use a 3-long Technic pin with friction, and it's really just kind of squeezed in there. But once you get it out, maybe smaller fingers can get in there more easily. I'm not sure, but still, overall, I'm happy with this thing. And you can open it up, and you can put a dude in there as an operator. It doesn't have really much of an interior, no real detail in there, but you can put an operator in there. So speaking of that, let's take a look at the minifigs. Left to right is a Robo SWAT, a skeleton, evidently a mech skeleton, like a Robo skeleton. And on the right is just Frank. He's a construction foreman. His name is Frank. And you need to save him from the Micromanager, and that's what Metalbeard is going to do. Now, this is your operator for the, kind of your driver for the Micromanager. It's one of the bad guy policemen. You can flip that up and check out the interesting, cool looking prints that he has. But more interesting to me is that blaster. I like that because it has a clip on the top so you can add other stuff onto it. Plus it has the peg-sized end, so you can also add things onto the end of it. Let me take that helmet off just briefly so you can see exactly what his head looks like. It's based on a medium silver minifigure head, and then turning all these guys around to the back so you can see the other prints that are there. And that's just it for the minifigs. This set really had me at pirate ship man mech with peg leg. It's a very inventive build. Looks like something that mock makers would make. Definitely clear that the Lego designers had a lot of fun with this set, and that fun comes right through to us and for us as folks who can actually get these sets and enjoy them. And what more can I say? They've done it right. That's what it's all about. Building, creativity, and fun. And all that is captured here with a tie-in to a big screen movie too. So those are my thoughts on this set. Thank you for watching. Be sure to let your thoughts be known in the comments section. Everybody's opinions are welcome as long as you're respectful about it. I'm reviewing all of the LEGO Movie sets as well as, well, so many other things as well. Just too many things to list. So be sure to follow the channel and see what else that I'm up to. I put up new videos on a very regular basis. And if you want to really stay on top of the latest updates, you can follow me at jangbricks.com. Talk to you again soon.